All right, Giants fans, how we doing? I tried to record a video the last few days and it's just been tough. It's been a mix of apathy, no emotion, and then some videos, some takes would be me throwing my head across the room. And I don't know. I understand there's nothing wrong with showing emotion as a fan, but I just don't want my content to become me ranting and raving. I do enough of that as it is on my own. I'll just be honest, I'm not the most positive fan. I'm not the most like we're 2-5 and you could we're 2-5 right now. Like you could look at a team like the Rams that played just last night. I'm recording this on Friday after our last game against the Eagles, and if you saw Thursday Night Football, you see a team like the Rams that are 2-4. They don't look anything like us at 2-4 or 2-5. Nothing near. All right. That's why I'm saying just being 2-5, maybe we don't have the worst record, but for those that actually watch the games, you know it's a lot worse than even the record would suggest. But the record is bad, so either way, it's bad. I'm not the most upbeat, positive fan. If you want my honest opinion, I think some people in this facility need to go right now. But we did hear some words from our owners, so I think we should just get into that. So John Mara was, he spoke for about 6 minutes to reporters. He was at the Paley Center for Media in Manhattan after a private screening of The Duke, The Giant Life of Wellington Mara, a film chronicling the legendary football life of John's father, whose 81-year career ended with his death in 2005. So those of you that didn't know, the fact that the football is called the Duke actually came from Wellington Mara, the old owner of the Giants. So like I said, a lot of history in this franchise. It's just unfortunate that we're going through so much crap right now. But anyways, so he was at a private screening of that film, and reporters were talking to him, and he made some comments, and I want to go over some of those comments right now, just in case you didn't already hear. So here's one statement he made to a reporter. "Obviously, we're all very disappointed with where we are right now," Mara said. "But I'm going to say one thing. We are not making any changes this season, and I do not anticipate making any changes in the offseason either. I'll encourage you all to go back and look at what John Mara has said about the past two coaching staffs, namely Joe Judge and Ben McAdoo, and look at what he said about those coaching staffs just a month or so before what ultimately ended up happening. He has said this before, and he has fired coaches after saying this before. So this could either mean he's finally gonna let them stay and work this thing out and use patience, or it's simply just the kiss of death, so to speak. We'll have to see. But you know how it is in New York. You keep losing, and you keep losing, and people get fired. It's that simple. So here's what he said. "I think to try to be more patient than maybe I've been in recent years," Mara said. He preached that all the time. "I've probably been guilty of not being patient enough in recent years. That's one of the reasons why I'm committed to Joe and Brian DABOL and giving them a chance to turn this around." And he also said, "It's very difficult because the last 10 to 12 years have not been very good for our fans." You can say that again. "It makes it particularly difficult, but you've got to do the right thing. And we are committed to doing that, committed to seeing this process through." The process that they have, talking about Joe Schoen and Brian DABOL, being in the meetings with them, talking about where they see us going forward, talking about their evaluation of our personnel, Mara said. I still have confidence in both of them. So we can sum up from all that he claims that he still wants to be patient, that he wants to let Brian and Joe turn this thing around. And he was also asked, I don't see it on this article right here, but he was also asked, I remember from another article I saw that someone else was covering, he was asked about Daniel Jones and declined to comment, which is probably why nothing's here. So he said that he wants Shane and DABOL to stay, or he expects them to stay on and see if they could turn this thing around. And he declined to comment on Jones. So what does that mean? Well, on face value, that means that Jones is out of here and that DABOL and Shane will have a chance to draft their own quarterback and see if they can turn this team around. Now, first things first, it's no secret that on this channel I've been critical of Daniel Jones. I do feel, just based on when the natural progression of teams, when things aren't working, when nothing's going on, nothing's working, you usually look at the coach, you usually look at the GM, or you usually look at the quarterback. And in the natural process of things, who's been here longer? Jones. So when something inevitably has to get cut off because of losing, the oldest thing usually does, which in this case will be Jones. Jones needs to go. It's the right decision to let him go. Just because it just isn't working out. Can Jones kind of have a Sam Darnold type season, or a something like that? I believe he can, actually. I think under the right coach, I believe he'll have himself a sort of a renaissance season, and he'll make some team somewhere around here better. Now, I've gone on record on saying that I believe he is a backup quarterback in this league. I still believe that until proven otherwise. But like I said, at the time of watching Sam Darnold in the Jets and the Panthers, you would say the same thing. I think he's a backup quarterback in this league. When I say that statement, I mean, you gotta understand, I'm not a coach. I'm not a GM. I'm just a guy sitting in my room doing videos. I don't know. Right now, I would say he's a backup quarterback, but maybe he proves us wrong, just like Sam Darnold's proving people wrong. Who knows? But we'll have to see. But it is time for him to go, so I agree with that. But are we so sure about DABOL, and are we so sure about Shane? Well, I'll say this much: Shane, if I had to choose who would stay, it's tough. I'm really close to being out on Shane, but I would probably say Shane stays. It looks, because of that Eagles game, it looks very stupid that we let Barkley go. And to have Bill Belichick comment on Joe Shane, pretty much saying that, it's a GM thing for sure why Saquon's not still there, because everyone in the league knew he was going to the Eagles. But either way, I do agree that Saquon leaving was the right decision for the long-term future of this team. Right now, yes, if we had Saquon, maybe we do a little bit better, but not much. You have to understand, Saquon was here for quite a while, and we've never won with him. And it's not Saquon's fault. It's because the team stinks around him. Just like I feel because Daniel Jones hasn't won, it's because the team stinks around him. Terrible, impatient ownership, unorganized ownership, bad GM, bad coaches can do that to somebody. We've seen this with the teams like the Jets, Panthers, Browns, and maybe now the Giants. These teams just can't foster a winning culture, and it starts from the top. I'm glad Mara said something, but Mara needs to understand, I'm sure he does, that all this is largely on him. He needs to hire the right people. So for him to not fire Shane and DABOL after year 3, allegedly, would certainly be a change in what he's done the last 2 times. But will he do that? I don't know. He didn't do it the last 2 times, so we'll see. But maybe the nostalgia, thinking about his father and what he's done, and the fact that it's the 100th season, maybe Mara's willing to do something different to just see if this is what it took to get this franchise back to where it was. I think I might have veered off of my last point about Shane. So Shane, even though with all that being said about Shane, I do feel Shane should probably stay because we've had some misses. Evan Neal, certainly so far seemed to be a miss. Kayvon Thibodeau's kind of hit and miss. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's like standout yet, but we'll see. I'm not on Kayvon just yet. Deonte Banks seems pretty solid, but there have been reports of him. Well, not even reports. He seemed to flat out quit during that Eagles game on a tackle on Saquon Barkley on the sideline. Like he didn't just tackle him; he kind of like let him go. It was kind of weird. So, but Dexter Lawrence already addressed that and got on him for that. So I'm sure Deonte Banks will grow, hopefully. But I'm not on Deonte just yet. Andre Phillips was like a beast. So not all the draft picks have been bad, but the top ones, we have to admit, have not been the best. So Shane's not completely safe, but I would probably give him another shot to keep building. Because, the GM position, if we gave Gettleman of all people 5 years, we should give Joe Shane 5 years, right? But I can understand why if you wouldn't. Dable, to be completely honest, I'm completely out on Dable. I don't want him back at all. And maybe it's kind of a I don't know what the word is. Hasty of me, extremist of me to feel that way. Especially to most of y'all, because most fans would say, well, it's time for Jones to go. And I do agree, Jones needs to go first before anybody else. I would let Dable go as well, personally. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. And the way he dealt with Wink, the way he dealt with Kafka, and now what's happening with the offense still being dead, complete crap last, is that because of the quarterback? Sure, yeah. But is it also because of the play calling? We have to think about that too. And when you have some time, I want you to look up a website called ProFootballReference.com. ProFootballReference.com, and I may leave a link in the bottom below. And I want you to look at Brian Dable's coaching career. And I want you to look at what you've seen, the quarterbacks he's worked with, the offenses and the teams he's worked with. And I want you to make your own decision about Dable. I think the prevailing narrative about Dable going in, and I had this too, was look what he did with Josh Allen. Look what he did with Josh Allen. He made Josh Allen one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, or certainly in the league right now, for sure. So I'm sure he's going to be able to do that with Jones. And has he done it with Jones? No. And of course, it could always be, well, the quarterback just doesn't have it. But no, I'm not so sure about that. And like I said, I'll put the link below. I would want you guys to do your own research and see for yourself if you really think Dable is the right fit. Personally, I don't. I'm done with Dable. He should go, and I'm worried about what he'll do with the next quarterback we bring in for sure. And I sure to think if we stay at this level of offensive ineptitude, even with another quarterback, what that will do to Merritt. Because the one time Merritt decides to be patient, unfortunately, he has the wrong personnel in at that time. If he had been patient with Shermer, maybe we'd be back to where we were. If he had been patient with McAdoo, who knows? If he had been patient with Joe Judge, that would not have worked. But now he decides to be patient, and we have the wrong coach. So it'll be tough. It'll be very tough, but we'll see what can happen. You never know. Maybe Dable does turn around. Maybe Shane does draft some strong pieces to really start making an impact on this team and get us back to being people in the division and winning games again. We just have to hope. So, in summary, I like that allegedly John Mara wants to show patience. If he does, I'm all for it. Might as well try it out. But I'm just not sure we have the right people. But we'll see, Giants fans. It's been a very tough year. No, I didn't really talk about the Eagles game because what is there to talk about? It's the same old, same old. Offensive ineptitude, nothing going on, nothing working. Defense making a pretty strong stand in the beginning, but then eventually the kink in the armor shows and we get ran on, thrown on, and everything happens, and we get beat, blown out, and embarrassed in front of wherever we're at, usually at home. So there's no point of going in depth with that. There's no need to relive that pain. Good for Saquon, make your money, have some fun, play for the Eagles. Good for you, man. I'm not going to focus on Saquon, and I don't think many fans are going to focus on him anymore because we need to focus within. And our team is the problem no matter where you look at it. So comment below how you feel the rest of the season will go. If you think John Mara should keep DABOL and SCHOEN or not. And I guess whatever else you want to talk about. So in the comments, if you want to vent, if you want to do all that, hey, go at it, man. I'm right there with you. This is painful. This is terrible. And let's get ready to play the Steelers.